Thank you. That concludes general questions, and we will now move to the next item of business, which is questions to the First Minister. Question number 1 from Ian Gray.
To ask the First Minister what engagements he has planned for the rest of the day.
First Minister.
Well, later today I will have meetings to take forward the Government's programme for Scotland.
Ian Gray.
Presiding Officer, under the Ministerial Code, Ministers are expected to behave according to the highest standards of constitutional and personal conduct. The First Minister is the ultimate judge. 2 weeks ago, Mark McLachlan, an aide to Michael Russell, was identified as the anonymous author of a blog with a track record of smear and abuse against political opponents. On BBC Scotland, Mr Russell was asked, "Did you know he was doing it?" He replied, "No." Today, Mr McLachlan says that Mr Russell was not only aware of the blog, but even, I quote, suggested possible subjects. Is the First Minister undertaking an investigation under the Ministerial Code to establish whether Mr Russell told the truth to the BBC?
First Minister.
No, what I have ascertained, and Mike Russell has made it repeatedly clear, that he was shocked to be told about the matter, knew absolutely nothing about it, and accepted, of course, Mr McLachlan's resignation. Now, I deprecate attack blogs. I don't think any political party should have anything to do with them. I don't think that is what the internet is for. But can I just say to Ian Gray, in a week where we have seen a huge issue in terms of the collapse of Globespan, we see the enormous planetary issue being debated in Copenhagen at the present moment. We have seen yesterday the first drop in unemployment for 18 months in Scotland. Does he not consider that these are some of the issues that the people of Scotland would expect the opposition leader in Scotland to raise, other than a focus on personality and process?
Order. Ian Gray.
Presiding Officer, I have already made clear how important I believe the climate change talks in Copenhagen were, rather more important than an attempt at a photo call with Arnie Schwarzenegger, frankly. And this morning, I have made very, very clear my concerns about the 800 employees and the 4,000 travellers with Globespan. But the First Minister cannot use those job losses to hide behind in order to avoid answering the questions about this matter. If Mr Russell didn't know about this Black Ops blog, then there is no impediment to him coming to this chamber to set the record straight. Will the First Minister instruct Mr Russell to come to Parliament and confirm whether or not he knew of this blog?
First Minister.
Mr Russell has already said repeatedly that he did not know of the blog, and Ian Gray has absolutely no evidence to suggest that that statement is inaccurate. I said personality and process quite deliberately, because Labour members should remember that in Ian Gray's St Andrew's Day speech made on the 2nd of December, he himself said, "We focus too much on personality and process, and not enough on the issues that the Scottish people care about. Our politics needs the chattering classes, but we have to be sure we are chattering about the right things." Let me submit to this chamber and to the opposition leader that the people of Scotland would expect him to be chattering about the things he says he cares about, but does not bother to raise in First Minister's questions. That is the state of the Copenhagen summit and what is going on there. Let us debate that. Let us debate the plight of the staff and passengers of Globespan. Let us debate the unemployment figures in Scotland, showing the first decrease for 18 months. These are the issues he should be raising, not about personality, smears and process.
Ian Gray. Order.
It is exactly because I care about Scottish politics that I wish to see these anonymous blogs rooted out and got rid of. That is why 6 months ago, when one of these blogs was spreading smears and rumours about me and my marriage, I asked the First Minister to take action, and he refused to do so. he said these blogs were nothing to do with the SNP. And now we discover that the authors of one of them was working for one of his ministers. The First Minister says that Mr McLachlan resigned. But Mr McLachlan says he did not resign, that Michael Russell phoned him up and said he had to go. Mr McLachlan says that an apology issued in his name was actually written by Kevin Pringle, the First Minister's most senior adviser. If this is true, it is an attempted cover-up involving the First Minister and his office. Did the First Minister order Mr Russell to sack Mr McLachlan, and did he order Kevin Pringle to draft a resignation statement for him?
First Minister.
I think Ian Gray is descending from bad to worse. Whether Mr McLachlan, in my view, is not an appropriate person to be working for any NSP in this Parliament. Now, 6 months ago, Ian Gray mentioned, 6 months ago, a Tory blogger, Ian Dale, wrote in his blog, "Readers in Scotland and Wales may be having a wry smile that the fact that the grubby red flag blog didn't quite make it to the internet in time." If we remember, that was the one connected with the Damien McBride affair. For in these two countries, Labour has indeed started up versions of the red flag. In Wales we have
Order.
blog, and in Scotland a leaky chanter started in December 2008. They are not salacious as the red rag was intended to be, but they clearly exist as attack blogs. Now, here's the challenge. If we want to talk about conduct in politics, then let's condemn attack blogs from whatever source. And don't let the Labour Party pretend, after Damien McBride and after the leaky chanter, there has not been serious Labour Party real involvement in such things. Can we not agree as a Parliament to deprecate such conduct together?
I absolutely condemn attack blogs from whatever side of the political spectrum they come. And I want this cleared up properly. So I ask the First Minister, will he release any documents or emails held by any ministerial office or his special advisers relating to Mr McLachlan? Will he tell us when did he know about Mr McLachlan's blog? When did Kevin Pringle know about this blog? When did any of his other special advisers know about this blog? And just for today, when did the First Minister or Kevin Pringle first have sight of the emails published in the Herald today?
First Minister.
I knew about Mr McLachlan's resignation when Mr Russell informed me that his former employee was no longer working for him because he didn't judge him to be a suitable person to be working for him. The question is for Ian Gray if he really knows the difference between an allegation and a revelation. I've got a remarkable statement from Ian Gray this morning when he talks about revelations in the Herald today. This is a very dangerous course of action to take. It's only a few days since the same journalist in the front page of the Sunday Herald said, "Labour leader Ian Gray in new donations sleaze row." This referred, of course, to what has become known as the Burgergate scandal in East Lothian. My point is this: that is an allegation, not a revelation. It's only a revelation if it comes to be established. And if Ian Gray bandies about allegations as revelations, then he shouldn't be surprised if he has to answer for these allegations affecting his own constituency. It is extraordinary to come to this chamber to bandy about process and personalities, to ignore the big issues facing Scotland, to be unaware totally of the feet of clay in his own constituency, to recycle smears and not to accept the clear statements of a minister that he, like me, and I hope every person in this Parliament, deprecates the smears and attack blogs that have been prevalent across the political system.
Question to Annabel Goldie.